All right. Hey guys, I'm OC. I'm a real estate broker here in Austin, Texas. And I'm here with my boy, Big J, Julian Parisi of Hill Country Hangar down in Canyon Lake, Texas. Julian and I were longtime friends. Went to school together at Texas State. Just kind of hit it off instantly. But he's got great work ethic. He's into all sorts of cool stuff: glass blowing, epoxy pour, tables. He does welding. There's just really not much in the way of like working with your hands that this kid doesn't do, and doesn't do phenomenally. Super creative as well. He can build just run of the mill stuff, but he can also make incredibly creative pieces of art. And anyway, what we're here to talk about today is a little bit about his real estate journey, which I thankfully got to be a part of last year. We've been talking for a while about his next investment. He had 2 properties prior to this one, but came to me, asked for some help to locate a property here in town. So we went on a wild goose chase for about 6 months, I think.
Yeah, about 6 months.
Yeah, 6 months. There's a few ups and downs. There were about 3 properties we went through.
15 walks later.
Dude, it was a lot.
It was a lot.
I think that's kind of true of the real estate process is, and in life in general is, you got to go through some stuff to get to the right thing. And I think we found the right one with Hill Country Hangar, huh?
Oh, I think we nail on the head on it.
Yeah.
I always tell people, I'm looking for fun, unique properties, something that I could kind of get creative. And like you said, I like to put the artistic touch on it. So, yeah. I mean, you can walk into a house and it usually suit everyone's needs for the common person.
Right.
But we were looking for something pretty specific that had to check multiple boxes, and landed on a old airplane hangar and converted into an Air B&B. So one of those things, there's not a lot out there. And I mean, you went through the fire with me on that one, but
it was a doozy. There were a lot of shaky bits, but we got to the end, and I think that's what matters most. And I think that's what we're here to talk about today. But yeah, it's Julian land, man.
It's my
Julian
fantasy factory.
Land. Yeah,
it's literally my fantasy. I go out every day. I'm like, I could do whatever I want out here.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful spot in the hill country of Canyon Lake. I'm close to the water. I'm close to the river. I got the Whitewater Amphitheater down the street.
Yep.
And I mean, luckily the land is just built perfectly on that hill, so I can just constantly grow with the building itself. So
yeah, it's 3 levels. So it's got like kind of the first level, which is the entryway, driveway kind of sort of thing, goes up to the second level, right, where the hangar is. You've got like a carport for you could have like a full length 40-foot RV under there, and some other stuff. And then it's got another carport kind of off to the side of the hangar. And then going up to kind of the third, really we could call it maybe a 4th level even.
Yeah.
There at the top, but like at the 3rd level, you just completed a deck, right? It's a pretty massive one.
Oh yeah. So I mean, starting from the beginning, we went in there. It had an empty shell, had all the utilities that we wanted in place. So I kind of had a really good start of the project. The previous owner of the property, he knew what he was doing. Jeff.
Yeah,
he was great.
Jeff was awesome.
He was
insurance agent, and he had everything, line item by line item. I think the guy had he had an account of how many screws he used.
Yeah. Oh, he sent me I still have him to this day, just documents of everything. And I mean, I still keep in touch with them because they're watching the build as I'm growing with it. I mean,
I think that was one of the reasons we went out, because they had somebody else that was interested in buying it. And I think we ended up getting it lower than what they were under contract for, but they liked you. They liked us.
They liked us, and they saw the vision where it wasn't going to just be turned into a condo or another small hotel, something like that, because it's on non-restricted, so you can kind of do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And you could tell they really did care about the property. They really put a lot of love and, a little bit of them into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
They just wanted someone to finish it.
Right.
And that's obviously where we kind of got it at the perfect time. I mean, things were going crazy during COVID. houses were, you know, it was a mad dash to buy anything. So,
It was.
You know, people were, you know, closing sight unseen. We were lucky that we got to walk the property, what, 3-4 times?
Yeah, and it came down to we walked up and, you know, we broke bread with this guy, and it's really how I try to do all of my business. I know it's how you do too, and it leads to, like, you know, great relationships with people, you know, that like, this isn't just somebody you bought the place from, see you later, you know, like, they're keeping up with it, you know.
Oh, they're following me.
And that's a cool thing, you know? Yeah.
And I would say that is probably the best part of this whole thing is they're excited for my growth as I'm building, and they're like, what are you doing next? What's the next step?
Yeah.
So it is cool to kind of have them be my cheerleaders on the side, you know, and being like, you know, you're doing something fun with it. And like you said, it had a carport for it was a 40 by 30 RV carport, all solar paneled out, so off
That's
the
right.
grid.
Yeah. It's got solar panels.
Totally off grid.
The septic's even oversized.
6,000 square foot.
So it was perfect for you to have something that you could grow into, which is what we were looking for. Yeah.
It
really was the perfect one, you know?
I think so too. I think it checked all the boxes that we had, even, you know, some boxes that people normally wouldn't have. Like, I mean, my goal was, how many tiny homes can I build on the property? Am I going to hit any restrictions in this area? You know,
and there were no deed restrictions.
No deed restrictions. Ample amount of parking, and the fact that it is built in different levels, I could focus on the main level, which is the airplane hangar. Once I finished that, I could put that on Airbnb and then work on the second level, work on the third level. So it allowed me to not do everything all at once, rush it, get it done for cheap. It's like allowing me, you know. This is the first year that I've been there. You
can do it in phases,
Yeah, do it in phases.
Yeah.
Take the time, do it right, you know, work on something else, come back to it when I want to. So
yeah, it totally fits you and like kind of everything that you have going on because you're still doing your other projects.
Yep.
Yeah, man, I love this place for you. And, I mean, I think, like, so I think what we went under contract at, like, 3:30. I think.
Yeah, around 3:30.
3:30. Yeah,
that was them covering all the solar panels as well.
Right.
So that was the biggest thing.
Yeah, because you got the warranty and everything, transferable
25-year warranty.
Yep.
On 32 solar panels, I think.
And they were paid off, you know, because they have to be. Yeah.
So I mean, they took care of it. Got me that warranty. I don't think I've had a utility bill all year.
No.
You know, for the most part. My highest might have been $3 during the summer.
Oh, yeah.
Just because. But, yeah, I mean, like you said, like, utilities were already laid out, so it could expand up the hill out there. And I made that 40-foot RV carport. I just closed it all up and made it a 2-story workshop. So it's one of those things where I moved my full business out there. So now I'm running, you know, JSP Customs Design out there.
So you saved some money because you were leasing a warehouse space up here. Yeah.
I cut 2 different houses onto one mortgage. Gave me some room to breathe, you know, on that end.
Yeah, so it's like a house hack, Airbnb, like commercial business. It's like,
it's just,
which is you, bro. It's like, how many hats does this guy wear? It's like, I thought I wear a lot of hats, but this guy's like,
oh, I mean, I'm trying to get, you know, like full like retreat mode out there. Trying to bring in. I'm going to build, you know, a couple saunas out there, a couple cold plunges. Got the greenhouse ready to go. So we're really working on it to be a full experience where when you do come out there for the rent, for Airbnb, you're not just getting a house and you're like, oh, this is fun to hang out. We're going to go out to party now downtown. It's like, no, we're going to rent the house and we're going to stay on the property and everything we need is here.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the vision for this whole project.
I think that's what a lot of people are looking for. Me, for sure. I mean, that's what I seek out, you know, is places where I'm not super into the bar scene, man. It's kind of played out. Like, I did it in college. It was cool. But now, you know, I want to go to a really cool place, and I want to be there with my friends, like the people I love that, you know, we just have a good time and hang out and have, like, something really interesting to do the entire time.
Yeah.
You know, place like to make memories and, like, cool pictures and, you know, just, like, it's something that I don't think you get, you know, if you're, you know, hopping around the bars.
Yeah.
You know, they're cool. there's nothing wrong with going to the bars, but it's not this.
Yeah.
This is a different experience. This is a one-of-a-kind experience. You're not going to
Exactly.
get Hill Country Hangar. I mean, just listen to the name.
Yeah.
You're not getting Hill Country Hangar anywhere else.
I tell people all the time, I go, it's the only airplane hangar one in the Hill Country that I know of right now. But it's, again, like you said, like we're building a huge deck on the second level where we're having, like engagement parties out there. We've already had, 60 people out there doing engagement thing. We got birthday parties, family vacation, reunions. And, we're kind of checking all those boxes for all of the guests that come by, and all the reviews that we're getting are all very positive. Just like cool, unique space, very fun, very, secluded. You're allowed to, be loud and have fun with your friends, Had a lot of photographers come through as well, do like photo shoots out there.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of does that.
Yeah, I noticed recently you're offering that as kind of like an additional booking.
Yep.
So maybe somebody, what is it, like an hour slot? Like, what do those go for?
Yeah, so right now we started at $50 an hour. We've jumped it up to about $75 just because we realized they kind of cater a little bit more.
Okay.
An hour slot is kind of unrealistic just because it takes an hour to set up, get ready.
Sure.
So we kind of done, where we have it limited to at least 3 hours minimum.
Okay.
That way they can get there, set up, no one's rushed, no one's trying to get kicked out of there,
No.
And then if they need a fourth hour, they just book the full night and have the full 24 hours that they need out there.
Okay, yeah,
so,
Nice.
We've had a lot of photographers.
So you've got a bunch of options. Something to fit everybody, like, each person's needs.
Everyone's needs, and I mean, we're willing to work with people. I mean, we've had a couple guests that came through, and they're like, just like, can we do this? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's figure out a way to make it work so your stay is as fun and enjoyable as possible.
No.
And I want those guests coming back. So it really is one of those things where when guests come back, I go, every year it's going to grow. So hopefully when you come back, the top deck will be done. I'm calling it the party deck.
Yeah.
It's 2,800 square feet. We got outdoor showers. We're putting a bar up there. It's definitely the hangout lounge. Great views, which I know you've seen. Where you just look over and you're just.
I can't wait to take another drone shot of that place, man. To see, like, with the updates. I think that is something that's incredibly cool about you doing it in phases. It's something that grows, and like you said, I mean, the people who come back, like, they get to see this thing that's like different every time they come.
Yep.
And just gets more and more dope.
Yep.
As time goes on.
And I get to see what they like.
Yeah.
So I'm getting to build pretty much on all the feedback that I'm getting. So even if I have a cool creative idea and, I think all my ideas are pretty cool and creative.
Right.
So, I'm always like, that's what we're doing. And then we'll get halfway through the build and you're like, all right, scratch it. Let's do it again.
That was not it. Nobody likes this but me. Okay. All right. I will change. Yep. Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious because it's true. Like, I don't know if you saw, I was building the stair phase from level 2 up to level 3 where I'll start building all the A-frames and the tiny homes up there. I built those stairs probably 3 different times.
Oh, dude.
I will never
Are you
do
serious?
It again. I'll never do it again.
Yeah, man.
But the final product, it looks beautiful. I'm happy with it.
It looks super sick.
So,
yeah.
Cool. And, I mean, hopefully I can get you out there again because it is our 1-year anniversary this month.
Yeah,
so
absolutely will be coming out there. And I think I did want to mention even in that market, totally shifting gears here, but we touched on the price a little bit.
Yeah.
But like we were even able to in that market where it was so heated, we were still able to get we got it at 330 and we ended up getting the appraisal. I think it came in at
375.
375.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you walked into a chunk of equity.
Oh, yeah.
And I think, I just want to, beat this home again. You do have to take your time. You have to be ready to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
But you also have to take your time to find the right space. Don't just jump into things. Good things do take time. I've found that in my life, and in my business, and in my personal relationships. It takes time to build a good relationship. It takes time to build Hill Country Hangar to what it's going to be. It takes time to find the right property.
Yep.
And it doesn't mean you don't need to make moves, but be discerning in the moves that you make. And I try to have that that sentiment, that mindset, personally, first and foremost. And then I try to carry that on with my clients and my friends. And I'm just so grateful that you were patient with me along the process. You know, we were really invested in that second property. I know you really wanted it. And we beat every option to try to make it work.
For sure.
And we got to the end and it just didn't. And it was stressful. It was hard on both of us, you know, because you were invested. I was invested. I loved the place.
Yeah.
But it was too expensive. It wasn't really what it needed to be for where you were at. Your partner dropped out.
Yep.
There were just so many things.
The hurdles that came with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in the end, to your thing, it's like, hey, it's okay to lose some of the stuff. It's okay to walk away and be like, hey, this is not right for this time.
Yes.
Because we would have never found Hill Country Hangar. We would have never walked into that project and, you know, had the opportunity. And I would say this property is way more what I was looking for without even knowing that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
So it takes time.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's one of those things, hard work. It pays off.
Yeah.
That's really all it is. You got to just keep going and keep fighting for it. And
hard work, patience, discernment.
Yeah.
And just staying the course. Yeah. Discipline, you know, not take it, you know, like no's are okay. You know, no's get you to the yes. To the yeses. You know, and that's how you, I think in life, I think personally and, you know, and professionally, that's how you get, you know, to the right thing for you. Because you got to kind of figure out what was not right for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, we answered a lot of questions, even looking at those first two properties before we settled on. Like, it kind of brought us together to kind of be like, what don't you like on this? What are you looking for? And that was one thing that I do appreciate. You were very hands-on. I mean, there was times where I was like, hey, we got a showing. We got to be there in 30 minutes. You know? Like, we're going to sit in traffic for 30 minutes.
If I can, I will fly by the seat of my pants, boy. I will get there if I can get there.
Yeah. And, I mean,
I don't care, you know. It's like 30 minutes, like that's late notice, but if I can get there, I'll get there, man. Like this is what I chose to do, and I love it. It's my life. It's not my business. Yeah, it's not just my business, I should say. It's my life, you know.
And I would say,
I love this. I love doing it.
You know, a lot of the other side that people don't understand. Like even coming from a building, you know, background and an investment. Like you said, I have 2 other properties. I've been running them for 5 years now, and I know a little bit more on, like, you know, the building landlord side and how to run it, but you know the back end on how the market works, how the banks work. And that was definitely something that, you know, helped us on our end to be like, okay, is it actually going to be feasible in a long-term project?
Yeah.
You know, are you going to be happy in 10 years? Are you going to be happy in 20 years? Not hey, I'm happy right now because I'm excited. Everyone's excited when you're buying a house. And, you know, it's one of those things where it's like, you got to live there. You got to love it. You got to make sure it's something you're happy and proud to show off. So, you know, it's one of those things where having you on that end as well, you know, is super beneficial. You know, people need they need their hand held. You know, that's what it is. You got to hold the hands.
Yeah, you do. And that's the thing is, like, I'm here to hold your hand, but I think a lot of people, it's like, you know, you have in particular strengths. Everybody has their own strengths, and that's why I try to fit, like, how can I fill in the gap? Like, where can I fit in? You know, I let you take the reins on a lot of this stuff because you've kind of been there before, and then there's, you know, you kind of knew what you were looking for, but like you said, you know, we had to figure that out together. I can ask a lot of questions, but until we get into it, I can't ever figure out I don't know what anybody wants, and they don't either, honestly. Like, nobody knows what you want until you go and figure it out, you know? And that's what I like. Like, I love that process, and I love, you know, when people can get down with that, you know, and understand that it takes a little bit. And I really appreciate it, man. You know, I do try to be as knowledgeable as possible about all the aspects, from title to financing to you know, just financial aspect in terms of, you know, is this going to be a profitable business? Not just something that, like, I like and is cool.
Yeah.
But is this actually going to meet my goals in terms of, again, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? You know, it's not something, I don't look at anything with any of my clients, even if it's like a home that you're going to live in and it's just your, you know, your first home. I don't look at it as just, you know, a transaction, just a sale to get done quickly. I've talked to so many people out of buying, you know, hey, we need to wait 6 months. Like, you're not ready. And, you know, some people think I'm nuts. I probably have less transactions maybe as a result of that. But when, you know, I would say I don't really have anybody I can think of, any of my clients
that aren't happy with the ending result.
Yeah, and they see it as a huge financial gain to them, and something that, you know, that they love too.
Yep.
You know, and I, you know, it brings me so much joy to be here today with you a year later, and like this is what happened, man. Like, it was everything that we had talked about was going to happen.
Yep.
And it all happened, and it happened because you did the work, and we both showed up for one another.
Yep.
And like, I mean, dude, we're sitting here talking about Hill Country Hangar. It's like, you have bookings. You're making hundreds of dollars, 300 plus a night, I think.
Yeah. So we have it right now at 300 a night. It's usually Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so three nights on the weekends.
Man.
And yeah, it's been booked every single weekend since last October.
Yeah.
So
how's that feel?
It's great. I mean, it's one of those things where it is cool seeing the vision come to life. I mean, from day one, once we got that property locked in, I mean, pulled everything out, started with a clean slate, and just said, let's go. You know, got the first hangar finished out, put that on Airbnb to kind of just test the market, see what people were thinking and what they liked. And I mean, we got very lucky with a lot of the feedback. And like I said, like, it's been every single weekend. Like, there's weekends that I block off so I can stay there. So I'm literally
like, I would like to enjoy the place too.
Oh yeah. I mean, like, when we had, you know, the eclipse come through. I had people that were just there for viewing, just a viewing party. And so I was like, we got the space, we got plenty of parking. Like, I would love to have you guys out there and check out the eclipse, you know? So it was just cool to offer that as well without being like, oh,
you could do anything with this.
You could do anything.
Yeah.
It's kind of an open, you know, playground for adults.
Hell yeah. Well, where do they find you? Hill Country Hangar on Instagram.
Yes. So if you look up Hill Country Hangar on Instagram, we have all our links right there. You can always click the link. It'll take you directly to, you know, Booking.com, Airbnb, Verbio, PeerSpace, pretty much whatever you're looking for. And if you have any questions, I mean, you can always shoot me a DM on Instagram. I have my information everywhere. You could text me, email me, and just let me know what kind of questions you have to see if the spot is worth it for you and if it's going to suit your needs for what you're looking for that weekend, you know?
Hell yeah, dude. Yo, much love, man. I love you, Julian. Again, guys, my name's Osi. I'm a broker here in Austin, and we'll be coming to you soon.
Awesome, my dude. Love you.